What's up guys, this is Nick from Stridewise.com. I am here with the fantastic Jake from Almost Vintage Style, which is an amazing blog and also Instagram page. He's a virtuoso, he's a prodigy, he's omniscient in all things vintage heritage wear, in particular Japanese vintage and heritage wear. And here we're talking about the best Japanese leather jackets, items of clothing that are mythic in their proportions and the way people speak about them in hushed tones. Like, leather jacket is obviously like a primo, a priority for any guy to own like a good leather jacket. It's always worth shelling out the money for it. I would even argue that if you can spend money either on a good pair of boots or a good leather jacket, I would say the jacket, I think. And Jake here knows all about it.
Yeah, people say the shoes are the most important part of the outfit. I feel like that's true only if you're wearing really bad shoes. So like, if you're wearing like Skechers or like, I know some people are gonna hate me for this, but like dad New Balances, then that's what ruins your look. Otherwise, you're even just a regular pair of Chucks with a leather jacket, and people will think you look like $1 million.
You look amazing.
Right?
So Japanese leather jackets, why are they beloved?
So, kind of similar to boots, like there is definitely like a certain level of attention to detail with Japanese makers. Now again, this is nothing you can only find in Japan, it's just that your hit rate's going to be higher, basically, in Japan than it will probably be in other places. And in my experience, I've owned, I think, over 20 leather jackets now at this point, and most of them have been Japanese, and I've tried on many more than that, and just quality-wise, overall, so far, the Japanese makers have been the highest in my experience. So I'll talk about like the material first. For a while, Japan was kind of the only place you were able to get Shinki horsehide. Horsehide, why is that so desirable for jackets? Well, it's, the vintage provenance. And for jackets, people like, the way the arms kind of wear in, right? So you can kind of hopefully see that here with like, some people call it like tunneling, or like just the way the creasing is going on the arms. Does it definitely a lot on horsehide. The grain variation, you can hopefully see how much the grain varies and everything like that. That's obviously very desirable as well. Now you can get Shinki other places now from other makers, but you will not get the same Shinki horsehide from Western makers as you will from Japanese makers. Now, whether or not it's better is up to you, but it will be different. Brands like the Flathead, the Real McCoys, Freewheelers, they kind of get first pick of what they want. So basically what I'm just gonna say real quick is like, some Japanese brands will actually go for like a thicker version of Shinki than what you can get in the West. I guess that's the simpler way of putting it.
But like Shinki, like they do vegetable tanning, and also like some of the leathers they take like over a year to produce.
Yes.
It's really slow fashion, which is what people like about this sort of stuff. So the best Japanese leather jackets, what do you think?
Okay, so one I have to give to the Flathead. Partly I'm a big fan of the Flathead. They make basically everything. I mean, they've made everything from like boots and sneakers, wallets, women's bags and purses, shirts, jeans, all the way up to leather jackets. So their leather jackets are very nice. I've actually been to the Flathead like headquarters and where they make some of their things. Like I've been at the Stockport leather facility. And the Flathead is very exclusive in terms of the Shinki that they get. It is very, very thick. The only thing people that usually don't like Shinki complain about is that they think it's not as thick as other leathers, like the Horsehide Chrome XL that is used for some brands. But the Flathead's version of Shinki is pretty darn thick and very stiff, and they have a very unique cut to them. It's very flattering on you if it fits you. It's extremely uncomfortable if it doesn't fit you. That's semi-true for a lot of Japanese makers. Flatheads might be the most extreme. Very wide shoulders, fairly slim chest, and very tapered into the waist. And they're a little bit long for me. I'm 5'7". So if you're like kind of built like me, but maybe a little bit slimmer in the chest and a little bit taller, it probably would look perfect on you. If you see people that fit into a Flathead jacket nicely, they look perfect. Very well made, really, really nice leather, really great designs. But it's just like, the stitching is very, very well done. The cut is very nicely designed, I would say. It's very flattering on the people that it fits well.
Next brand.
Tenjin Works. This is one that's really underrated, but very, very cool. They make all of their jackets, they're in Tokyo, and they make all their jackets out of vegetable tan cowhide. So not horsehide, but cowhide. Relatively lower price. The Flathead ones usually around $2,000. The Tenjin Works ones I think usually start around $1,500, and they have a lot of colors available. One of the things that they're most famous for is they have a natural like vegetable tan cowhide that they use. The aging is crazy. It really gets, you can see pictures of it age. It's really, really dark.
Yeah, they get it from
really nice.
Tochigi Leather Co. See, I wrote this down. The factory, they only use natural vegetable tanning techniques. The factory's 160 pits are filled with tannin made from Brazilian mimosa. Leather is dipped into the pits from the lowest tannin concentration to the highest, so the tannin slowly and naturally permeates over time. That they're all about that Tochigi leather, huh?
Mm-hmm. Yes, and Tochigi is actually a pretty famous leather tannery.
Mm-hmm.
They also have quite a lot of other really unique colors in it too, which is pretty cool. So they have it in like burgundy, olives, and they're really, really beautiful shades, especially in a very nice high quality leather. It's not a gimmick, like it's vegetable tanned, it's just a unique color, right? And very nice designs, very nicely made. So I think that's a pretty underrated brand. I believe you can contact them either like through Instagram or like an email or something like that. I know people have bought them overseas, so not something that's super easy to find. That's kind of one of the issues with a lot of Japanese brands, but if you're someone like me that kind of enjoys the hunt and you see something unique that is worth your time to try and go and get, I think that is a brand that is worth going and getting. Next brand, the Real McCoys. Real McCoys is probably actually the brand that people think of first when they think of Japanese leather jackets.
Yeah, they're pretty well known.
Yeah, they are very well known. They're kind of known for, I mean, I'm not saying that other brands don't do this, but they do make their jackets atelier style. So one person sews them from start to finish, so they don't do it like a production line thing, like this person sews all the sleeves, this person does all the buttonholing, right? One person does the whole thing, right? And they're made in, I think it's Kobe, Japan. Very high quality, very nicely made, very nice materials, and really great classic designs. So, in my
like a motorbikey kind of design?
So we got touched on a little pet peeve of mine right there. Just because it's a cross zip doesn't mean that it's a motorcycle jacket.
I'm getting shamed out of this video.
It's not just you, and trust me, I used to think the same thing too. You think cross zip, oh, biker jacket, perfecto. Actually, the cross zip jackets started off as like aviation jackets. So, and aviation / motorcycle, but they also, in the 1930s and 1940s, they were also well known as sports jackets. So just like kind of regular, casual kind of jackets. They call it the 30s Cooper sports jacket. So if it's a sports jacket, that means it's not a motorcycle. So that's part of the thing that drew me to this jacket is the unique design. Like this is not something you're going to see everywhere, right? It's a cross zip jacket that doesn't have the zipper sleeves. If you're like me and you want something unique like a cross zip, which looks pretty cool, you don't see it actually you do see it everywhere, but you always see it as like a Schott Perfecto or a motorcycle jacket, right? This one is not actually quite a motorcycle jacket, so that's partly what drew it to me. And again, very high quality, very nice materials, shinky horsehide. This one's printed, which I don't know why they did that. They say there's historical precedence for that. I don't know how true that is. But it's still shinky leather, it's still high quality printed leather. And then a really nice moleskin lining, but it's a really, really nice cut. This fits me ridiculously well, especially for a stock jacket. And this is unique among Real McCoy's jackets. So to talk about them real quick, like their jackets are generally not super long, but like they're kind of more fitted for people like probably 5'10", 5'11", a little bit, longer than me, and relatively slim in the chest. So like for the most part, especially in their buko jackets, their motorcycle jackets will have like a 40 or maybe 41 inch chest. It's pretty slim, right? This one is a 38 and it has a 44 inch chest. I think they're like 22 inch half measurement. So, and it's also pretty short. It's like a 22 and a half inch or 23 inch back. So this fits me incredibly well, but it's a great design. You're not gonna see this exact design in a lot of, or anywhere else really. One of the things with Japanese jackets, again, they're not gonna fit everybody. When they do, they will not just fit you, it will like flatter you. When I see myself in the jackets, I think it flatters me very well. The cuts are very well thought out. Not all patterns are equal, and I would say in general, in my experience, the Japanese makers in general do a better job with patterns than a lot of other brands. Now, there are Western makers that I think do very good patterns, like Vanson especially. Vanson does amazing patterns. Just don't look at their website. Their website photos make their jackets look like they fit like trash bags, but go on forums and see how guys actually wear them. They fit amazing. By the way, the Real McCoys, you can actually buy these in the West pretty easily. There's a lot of retailers that actually sell them. Of course, you can go to Japan. They have some really amazing flagship stores in Japan, but you can buy them at the Real McCoy store in London. You can get them shipped. Standard & Strange sells them.
Yeah, Standard & Strange does, yeah.
So, and I got this one through Standard & Strange. Amazing service. They special ordered this for me. They will do the same for you too. If it's something they can get in stock, they can ship it over to you, no extra charge. So I highly recommend them, especially if you're in like North America. Next up is one that I also don't have, but I have something that's almost the same. So Rainbow Country is another one that's a little bit harder to get. You can get it. You can buy it from Japanese retailers, and you can send them emails. They will ship it to you. but it's not something that's like stocked in the West.
Yeah, I found it impossible to find any information about this company.
So Rainbow
I
Country...
tried to do research this video so I'd have smart things to say, and half of them don't have any information out there, and half of them don't even have a Japanese website.
No, Rainbow Country doesn't. And part of the reason that might be true is Rainbow Country is made in the same place that my number one brand is, and spoiler alert, that's Freewheelers. Anybody who knows me already knew that was coming. So it's actually made in the same factory. And some people used to think that Freewheelers and Real McCoys were made in the same factory. No, that's not true. These are actually made in further north. They're kind of more west of Tokyo. This is made down in Kobe. And in my experience, Freewheelers and Rainbow Country are nicer made. I've owned enough of both brands to say these are more nicely put together. So Rainbow Country is great because it's made in the same place as Freewheelers. If I'm not mistaken, it is actually basically started by the guy who kind of runs the factory or whatever as a house brand to kind of offer the same sort of quality as Freewheelers, but at a lower price point. It's just a little bit more simplified. The stitching is going to be basically just as good. It will maybe be a little bit less intricate in places. Freewheelers is very fancy with their stitch work and stuff like that. If you can, you can take a look at all the stitch work they do all over the place. You can see little darts on the back and everything that they do. They're a little bit fancy. Whereas Rainbow Country will usually be a little bit more pared down, a little bit less in terms of craziness for the liners and everything, but the quality will be just as good. And in some cases actually better. I have a buddy who owns both Freewheelers and Rainbow Country jackets. His best stitch jacket is a Rainbow Country jacket. And they also make stuff that Freewheelers does not make. So they offer actual A2 jackets. If you don't want to go for Real McCoys, they're usually a little bit cheaper than Real McCoys, come in different colors that Real McCoys doesn't have, right? And I would argue might be a little bit nicer made. Then I would say go try out Rainbow Country. They also have half belts and car coats and things like that as well. They do have some cross-stitch motorcycle style jackets. So you can find certain stores that sell them. There are quite a few, Mirrorball sells them, and you can email Mirrorball and they will sell them to you. They will ship them to you. McFly does as well. I know that Mushman's does as well, and Mushman's will sell you a jacket. Yeah, you can actually get them overseas. People have, and you can also go to Japan as well to get them. But they are a little bit lower in price, compared to a Freewheelers jacket. So now Freewheelers jackets run from $2,500 to over $3,000, whereas a Rainbow Country jacket will run you probably $1,700 to $2,000.
Cool.
So these two are next. So Freewheelers is my favorite brand. This is not even all the Freewheelers jackets I currently own.
Why is Freewheelers so great?
So a few things. Materials, attention to detail, the quality, and the patterns. So firstly, the designs and patterns are really, really nice. I mean, they pretty much do only vintage jackets that they're reproducing, and maybe with some slight modifications, it won't be exactly the same, but they are, classic jackets. They're not something new, fashion, trendy, but I just think that Freewheelers tends to find some more unique jackets that other people aren't doing, and they reproduce those. So for example, their La Brea jacket, which I don't own, but if you see their La Brea jacket, it's a D-pocket motorcycle style jacket made by Leather Togs originally that they started doing, and now you may notice that there are quite a couple other makers that are making that style of jacket after Freewheelers kind of made it popular. The construction quality is ridiculously good. As of right now, the best I've seen in a leather jacket. My McCoy jackets are nice, but I can look at this jacket and I can show you places where this jacket is better put together, more nicely stitched, and there's less minor flaws in this jacket than there are in this one. Besides the place where I had to get the sleeves altered because the sleeves were too long for me. So yeah, that's a downside, right? You're talking about Japanese sizing, right? Sometimes it doesn't fit you perfectly. This one, however, does fit me perfectly. So the materials are also very nice. I think they put more attention into their materials than any other maker I've ever experienced. So for example, this jacket has 1, 2, 3, 4 different fabric materials in it. They have one for the back of your neck here. They have one for the body lining, which is a really nice, very soft flannel. It's almost like a moleskin kind of thing. Gorgeous, kind of olive, almost mustardy color. Then they have a different plaid brushed flannel in the arms, which is just also very, very nice. And then they also have yet another different material, another flannel in the pockets. The fact that they have different materials for all of that is kind of nuts. And then of course the Shinki horsehide they use is very, very nice. It is pretty unique to them. If I'm not mistaken, somebody in the comments or something might be able to correct me, they actually finish it themselves. That's one of the things that makes it different, right? Like I have not seen like this exact like kind of brown color, like this is called dead leaf brown, and it's not always even the same throughout different seasons. Like it changes. This used to be redder than it is. It's more orange now. Like it just changes, and I think it's gorgeous. This is still my favorite like jacket leather I've ever seen.
Alright, so Freewheelers, they have like they exclusively reproduce all the designs, which is catnip to the heritage guy.
Yeah.
It's shaky horsehide, which they finish themselves. The attention to detail and the stitching is also more precise than you see elsewhere.
Mm-hmm.
And they also use a wide variety of different individually luxurious materials.
Yes, so a lot of other brands will tell you, you need cotton canvas in the sleeves so you can get your jacket off easily. No, you don't. Like having flannel fully in your jacket is really comfortable. Like this jacket is the most comfortable leather jacket I've ever owned. And that's one of the things, like leather jackets, they're not the most comfortable thing.
Sure, yeah.
They're not. Like it's just kind of a fact. Like it doesn't matter how well they fit you. They're not the most comfortable garment. That you kind of suffer for the coolness, right?
That's heritage stuff in general.
Yes, that's true.
No one wants to wear like raw denim on an airplane trip.
So, but yeah, like having the full flannel lining, like plus this really unbelievably soft, comfy deerskin, like this jacket, this one I actually want to wear like every day. Like I do not, ever have to hesitate, oh, is it gonna be uncomfortable? Never. This is super comfortable. The patterns are also just really, really nice on Freewheelers. Again, there are other people that do nice patterns, but the Freewheelers jackets, like the patterns are very, very nice. They are very well done, and whoever they fit, they flatter extremely, extremely well. This jacket feels amazing. It feels comfortable. It fits great. Same thing with this one. Like this one fits a little bit longer, but like it's supposed to be. It's a half belt. The patterns are amazing. Like, and I can see them on other people too. Like you can look at anybody, almost anybody wearing a Freewheelers La Brea jacket, and it looks amazing on them. Like every time. And I've seen other people copy that pattern sense or that jacket style sense, and pattern just isn't as good. So I do think like you check the measurements, they will be rather V-shaped for the most part. Like Freewheelers especially, Flathead especially, and McCoys in some jackets as well. They're rather V-shaped. So like if you're shaped like us, that works, right? But not all their jackets are the same. The Freewheelers Mulholland, for example, is a little bit more boxy. When I was shaped more boxy, that jacket actually fit me really well. As I shrank, I kind of realized that model doesn't work for me anymore. This one's a bit more V-shaped. This is the caboose jacket. That's a bit more V-shaped. This Bodie jacket is a bit more V-shaped. This fits me better now. Freewheelers does also offer like some car coat style things. The Brakeman jacket, that's a little bit more A-shaped, so that might fit you a little bit better if you're a bit more like straight-shaped or A-shaped yourself. That might fit you a little bit better. So they do have a lot of variety. And those also have a lot of cool details as well. Like they actually have storm cuffs on them as well, and like a wool lining in the body, and then like a flannel lining in the sleeve. So again, just a lot of extra little details. If you're first starting out in leather jackets and you just want like a cool leather jacket, this is probably not where you're going first. But eventually, like once you start to know what you really, really want, and you might start picking flaws in some of your other jackets, then this might be where you end up going.
Thank you for your time, Jake. These jackets are very, very beautiful. Jake, again, follow him on Instagram and check out his website. I've been pulling lots of photos from his Instagram and website for this video. Very talented dude, very knowledgeable dude. Thank you for coming on the channel.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Cool. There it is.